Live from San Francisco's Mission District, this is the 2019 Carnaval Grand Parade on KPIX 5.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 41st Annual Carnaval Grand Parade. We are celebrating this morning La Cultura Cura. Culture heals. I'm Michelle Griego.
And I'm Joe Vazquez. And we're live from the Mission District, where we will soon see these streets transform into a stage.
Yes.
It will be a colorful stage representing many cultures. But first, it's transforming from dry to wet and cold.
Exactly. The rain is out, so all of the umbrellas are out, just making it a little more colorful. I want to introduce, though I don't need to introduce this man. Everybody knows him, executive producer Roberto Hernandez, mayor of the Mission, right?
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Feliz Carnaval.
I know.
Happy Carnival.
I know. It's
Rain or
exciting
shine.
All
morning.
right, yeah, with that, you know, it's a blessing. You know, agua sagrada. You know, we just got to give out a little, bar of soap for those who didn't take a shower this morning.
It's perfect. Let's talk about this year's theme, too, La Cultura Cura.
So this year, we decided that with everything that's going on in the country that, we really needed to remind, especially Latinos, that our culture heals us if we just stay with our culture, which is basically eating buena comida, rica comida, dancing, listening to music, playing an instrument, and just coexisting with the basics, and shutting out all that noise that's coming out of, who,
Yes.
because
Right.
it's daily, and it's annoying. And
Up from the heavens.
If you just avoid all that and we just coexist, we don't have to hide and enjoy our culture. So we got a lot of people this year to come and be in Carnaval, in the parade. I'm just in awe of the amount of people that, you will see them today, right? And
these are people from all around the world.
yeah, and so we got some special events that we did prior to this. Yesterday we had Los Tigres del Norte. It was packed. I mean, people were on rooftops, on trees. It was just exciting. So we're really happy that everybody is getting the message that shut the noise down and let's just live life one day at a time and celebrate life.
Right, just like the weather, you don't know what's going to happen next. In fact, I feel the sun coming out a little bit, but the rain's still coming down. And Makovic is straight in the middle of it, right here on 24th Street, just wondering what to do next. Yeah, I feel for you.
Yeah, I'm kind of juggling the microphone, the umbrella, the hood, but I have full faith that the sun is going to shine on this parade. It's starting to come out now, so I think we're even going to see some rainbows. This is the very beginning. We're going to go in phases here, I think, when it comes to the different sorts of weather we're going to see throughout the 4-hour broadcast. So if you're watching at home, well, you can be lucky that you're not in the rain right now. But look at all the people that are willing to brave this very happily to come out here for this annual tradition. It really is a family affair. And yeah, let's talk to some of these folks. Hello.
Hello, I'm from Australia. I'm so excited. This is going to be our first Carnaval.
Oh, fabulous. And why did you decide to come here for it?
Well, our friends have been coming every year, and we're all dancers. We all do Argentine Tango, and it's just so exciting.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. So I'm assuming you're planning on dancing along with them.
Of course, yeah. Especially in this wonderful weather. Yes.
Argentine Tango, can we see a couple steps? Come on. A little bit. Let's watch, let's see a little bit. Okay, this is our first dance performance of the broadcast. A little Argentine Tango. They don't need music. Look at it. This is very impressive. Awesome, thank you. And yeah, they can do it without music. They can do it without feathers. You can do it at home. We're gonna have a lot of fun out here today between all of the different floats and the lowriders, which are coming right off the bat. So we're going to be talking to them once they pull up. But in the meantime, I'm going to toss it back to you guys.
That is just a prime example of the spirit of what Carnival is all about, right?
Yeah, people don't just stand here and watch.
No.
You are encouraged to join in and dance a little bit. There you see our production stage right here, our area where folks have been out here since 3 in the morning. Our production team setting up and getting ready for any contingency, rain, shine, whatever else the Mission District might bring. And by the way, if you're checking your calendar and wondering why we're having a Carnival celebration in May, this is usually a February event, right? It's Mardi Gras Carnival. And the rest of the world, we do things differently here in San Francisco.
Because of the weather.
Usually, we're trying to avoid February weather.
And February is bad. It's colder than this.
And that's interesting. You know, we changed from, we did it in February, but because of the weather, we changed it to May. And we've, you know, pretty much, I've gotten great weather in May, but, you know, climate change is happening. You know, it makes us a little more conscious about how we live, right?
Right. Well, you just never know what's going to happen. And, you know, as Joe said, it's the weather. It's up, down. It's San Francisco. You get cold, the wind's out, whatever. It doesn't even matter, though, because look at all of these people lining the streets ready for this parade to start. You know, there are a lot of headdresses with feathers and sequins, and that's not, the rain's not going to stop even that.
Well, yeah, you know, I had several people call me in the last 24 hours. Is the parade still on? I said, parade? You don't cancel a parade. You don't cancel Christmas.
You can rain on the parade, but it's not going to stop it. You mentioned, as we're waiting for the lowriders to start, you mentioned the feather headdresses. We have a variety of styles. This is what's so beautiful about this celebration. A variety of people from different parts who celebrate Carnival in their own special way. You will see the Rio Samba style, which is the most decked out, modern. You've got women wearing essentially sequins and feathers and anything shiny that a glue gun can put on your person. And then we have folkloric groups who are representing, you know, their authentic ethnic background. We're going to see the gamut.
I mean, it shows how diverse Latinos are. It shows a diverse culture. You have people from the Dominican Republic, from Mexico, from so many different places and cultures and, you know, different customs. And that's what I love about being Latino.
And it's interesting how people, when they come see the parade, they get exposed, especially those who are not Latinos, on all the different traditions that we have, that it's not just mariachis, it's not just baile folklorico, you know, and also that it's just not samba, because Carnival is associated a lot with samba. And recently I shared with a few folks, and Joe, I mentioned to you the other day that in Mexico, they celebrate Carnival in Veracruz, and they celebrate it in Mazatlan. But even within Mexico, the celebration is different in Veracruz than what happens in Mazatlan. And the same thing applies to Brazil. In Brazil, you have a certain style of Carnival in Rio, but then if you go to other parts of Brazil, the style is totally different, you know, in terms of the music, in terms of the dance and the costumes.
I was mentioning to Joe this morning that just to wake myself up every morning driving into work, I always listen to either salsa music, samba music, something, because it always gets me going. And this morning I thought it was appropriate Celia Cruz.
Azúcar!
Azúcar!
She's been here.
Oh, yes.
This with her presence in the past.
You know, I'll tell you a little story. So, you know, I always want to get, you know, a headliner to come, and it takes years to get somebody to come. You know, because we don't have the money that promoters have. And so I got introduced to her by Tito Puentes. After I had gotten Tito Puentes to come out here for Carnival, he fell in love with Carnival. And I'll tell you, Tito, his godfather lived here in San Francisco, here in the Mission.
Wow.
And so that's how I was able to connect with Tito. And so I got the blessing from his padrino, and we made the connection, and it was done properly. And we broke, you know, arroz con gandules and, you know, and some carnitas, and
she came and loved it.
And so I told him, I said, you know, about Carnaval. He said, yeah. So we did it and made it happen. So he loved it so much that he kept, every time he would come to San Francisco, he'd look me up, and we'd go out and break. And then I told him, I need to meet Celia Cruz. And that's how I met Celia.
And that's how she is. That's awesome. All right, well, Ann Makovic is on the parade route. Let's check in with her and see who she's talking to.
Yeah,
hey, Ann.
I am chatting with several of the people that have come here from all parts of the world, really, for our Carnival celebration, including just across the bay. Sophie here from Oakland. This is her first time at Carnival. What brought you here?
I have my samba dance teacher. She'll be performing today, a bunch of friends. I have lots of people in the Bay Area, and I used to work here in the Mission. So my aunt, my mom, my dad actually played. Yeah, my dad played in the parade years ago. He was a drummer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, so you ladies have come here before?
Yes, yeah, and she was a year and a half in a backpack while her dad was playing conga drums on one of the floats.
My, how things have changed.
Yeah.
So what does the parade mean to you? Why do you keep coming back?
Oh, how can you miss it? It's fabulous. This is why we live in the Bay Area, because we got all this going on.
Absolutely. All right, and have you seen things sort of change over the years?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell us.
But it's still, it's a great place. There's so much diversity here and a lot of fun. So.
Wonderful. All right.
La Mission.
Ah, yes.
She's
Always
from
the same.
Canada. These guys are from Canada.
Oh, you're from Canada.
Hey!
Represents. Come on. Let's see. Why did you decide to come here to this parade?
Honestly, we just Googled it and we said it's something to do, so we came. And I'm actually really excited just to see all the different cultures and just enjoy it. That's it. Yeah.
You are in for a real party.
Are you?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
I like
Thank
party.
you.
I like party.
And now we have the sun shining.
I'm about it.
I mean, what more could we ask for?
They're waiting for it again.
Yes, thank you so much. Have fun. We will be checking in with people throughout the morning here, people who were able to brave the weather. But like I mentioned, the sun is now shining. So I think I'm about to shed this coat and really start the party. We're going to mix it up here.
Yeah, when Ann says the party starts, that's when it starts.
Yeah,
right?
you take off the coat and let's do the party.
All right, we're standing by waiting for the lowriders right now. But I do want to say, Roberto hooked me up with a lowrider this past week. And it's a beautiful thing. If you're not aware, it is not just a hobby.
No.
This is something that is ingrained in the culture, and it goes on for generations. I spent some time with Nelson Alvarado. He's with the Street Made Car Club. Take a look.
It'll three-wheel and hop a little bit.
Nelson Alvarado of the Street Made Car Club shows us what his two lowrider cars can do.
They compete and they jump up to 90 inches, some of 110.
Customizing and equipping these cars with the latest in hydraulic technology costs tens of thousands of dollars and much of his free time. He says this is way more than a mere hobby. It's a passion.
It's a way of life, it's his lifestyle.
The lifestyle has literally put them at the front of the line, as lowriders will be the first contingent in Sunday's Carnaval San Francisco Grand Parade.
There we go. Hopping.
But these decorated and souped-up classic cars displaying the full gamut of Latino art culture and mechanical ingenuity have not always been welcome. As seen in the documentary called Why I Ride, lowriders paraded up and down Mission Street back in the day in the 70s and 80s. The drivers, young people of color, mostly Latino, cruised and socialized. Instead of racing these hot rods, the lowrider motto was low and slow. Still, lowriders were declared illegal by the state legislature.
Yeah, I went to jail 113 times.
This video from our KPIX archives shows San Francisco police rounding up lowrider drivers and stuffing them into police wagons.
Making us kneel on our knees and handcuffing us like we were some criminals, and we weren't criminals. It was just unjust and unfair.
They fought in the courts and won. And these days, lowriders are considered a part of mainstream society and participate in events all over the world.
Now, everybody's older, they got kids, and they enjoy the same thing we enjoy, and it just keeps the tradition going. You go.
A tradition I was invited to sample.
Get the full lowrider experience.
Hey, wait! Órale! Yeah, this is fun.
Bouncing Bronco, but yeah, we got it under control. And now, let's begin the parade officially with the lowriders.
Hold on, we saw some bikes, so it's not just the souped-up cars in the Lowrider Council, it's the bikes too.
The lowrider bicycles. I got a few of them and built a few and bought a few. And our young ones, they want to have a car, but they're too young, so we built them lowriders.
I like that.
Bicycles.
So this is the San Francisco Lowrider Council that we are listening to or watching to, these beautiful custom-made cars. The sirens, though, are very significant. Let's talk about about the sirens, Roberto? Because they're very significant when it comes to these lowriders, because there was a time when lowriders were outlawed.
Yeah, exactly. And so the sirens are a way to politically make a statement that we don't need the police. We have our own policing. We police ourselves, and that we're hardworking people. And so it's also a way to let people know we're coming.
And you can hear them, that's for sure. You know, the big motto with the lowriders, especially the San Francisco Lowrider Council, is low and slow, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, this is Bay Bombs Car Club that she rolled through, and we have in the San Francisco Lowrider Council many clubs and solo riders are a part of the San Francisco Lowrider Council that do annual events. Recently we did a benefit for John O'Connell High School, which is an annual event that's done on Cinco de Mayo. We have an coming up event called the King of the Street, which is actually a competition of who can get their car to hop the highest. And you get a crown actually that you can wear when you're cruising to let people know you are the king of the street.
Wow. And those things will hop. I can tell you that. They hop high off the ground. All right, so the first contingent, we're seeing the classic cars, the older models, and, you know, they still were able to get up and down, but now, as we get into the less classic cars, if you will, none of these are modern day cars, but as you get into the ones from the 70s and 80s, these babies will do some tricks.
Yeah, and then you got like New Temptations Car Club rolling through. You got the Frisco's Finest Car Club, Low Creations Car Club. There's many of the car clubs that have been around in the Bay Area for many years, going back to the 70s. You had a Low Creations Car Club in Las Estrellas, and you have cars that actually can go on 3 wheels.
Look at that.
3 wheels.
Look at this. This one's going on what? It looks, is that 3?
Yep,
3 wheels.
3.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The technology today with hydraulics is just amazing what we can do. I remember back in the days, we didn't have hydraulics, and today we do.
All right, let's go to Ann Makovic, who is on 24th Street.
Yes, I am here with Abe, one of our many low riders. Tell us how you got into this.
I've been growing up ever since '96. Going into it, building, have fun.
Okay, tell us about your car. This is an Impala. Does this thing jump?
Yeah, it jumps 3 wheels, everything, the whole 9 yards.
Let's see some of it. Awesome. How much money do you put into something like this?
About 60,000.
Woo! All right, well, it's looking good. Enjoy the ride.
We mentioned there was a time when these things were illegal, but you still went out. It was the cruising culture. This is how you met the familia that we now call, right, the Mission District, La Misión. But also, you know, you felt a little bit on the edge of society. Now look at them. They play a prominent place in this parade.
And not only in this parade, but we've been invited to be in the Warriors Parade. We had some lowriders in the parade last year and carried the trophies. I had one of the trophies in my car. And we've been in the San Francisco Giants World Series Parade and the Golden Gate Bridge 50th anniversary, the 75th anniversary. It's like we're like always we're in demand now.
Right, yeah, exactly. And aside from the parades, I mean, these are real leaders in the community, right?
Look at
Roberto's getting some beads. Roberto's getting beads thrown at him.
John G. He's
I mean,
Solo Riders Car Club with his wonderful wife, Tracy. There we go.
That's so nice.
Right on.
You know, obviously, Roberto, everybody in the mission knows you, and everybody here knows you, but they all know each other, too. This is a real community.
It's family. It's more than community. We're a family, lowrider family, and we help each other build our cars. Let me tell you, you break down, and I've broken down before, and I was by myself, and I had help come on the way. And you know, anytime you break down or you have an issue or you need a car part, and then we have, you know, barbecues, and we have, you know, somebody passes away or somebody's born or a quinceañera, you know, we're always available for weddings, you know, so we're there for each other. You know, it's such a beautiful community, you know, that we have built throughout the years. And you know what I love is like this young man right here. He is.
And this gold colored?
18 years old. He started working when he was 14 years old.
Wow.
Saved all his money because his dream was to have a lowrider. And that's the, another generation of young, people that are going to keep this tradition alive.
Well, this is a tradition that passes down generations, and it's a true labor of love because it does take a lot of money and a lot of heart.
Yeah, that's what we say. Time, money, and love.
And money. And money twice.
Time, money, and love. Mucho amor for the lowrider, so you can go low and slow. And if you go back historically, it's when we cruise down Mission Street, and we go around and around and around. Somebody asked me one day, he says, why do you do that? I said, well, back in the days when we had horses, that's what you do. You go around with your horse around the plaza and around and around, and you walk around the plaza, right?
All right, well, let's check in with Ann Makovic on the parade route. Hey, Ann.
Yes, it is so interesting to hear the history of these guys and how they got into low riding. What about you?
Oh, I got into low rider due to my brother. He started out low riding, so I follow him, and I got in this, so it's beautiful.
Clearly a family affair.
Yes, exactly.
What do the kids think of this?
Oh, they love it. He likes it. He's actually a year and a half, and he's loving it. He's having a blast.
Okay, so we have a fellow low ride owner,
hopefully,
enthusiast here. Awesome. Have a fun time.
The youngest one, right?
There you go.
He might be the youngest.
One of the things that grabbed me as we were looking back through that old footage, Roberto, is just seeing the smiles on the young people's faces. I mean, like you mentioned, it's cruising. It happens across America. Every culture has a cruising element to it. But get this, the only footage we found in our KPIX archives were people being arrested. And so those are some of the negative images that go out about our, Latinos. As I look around, these are families, these are working people, these are folks, the salt of the earth, who are pouring their heart and soul into this tradition.
And it's, we have a lot of business owners, and we have lawyers, we have professors at City College, San Francisco State University, Skyline College. I mean, it's interesting today how many lowriders are professionals and people that own their own businesses.
Yeah, you talked about the familia, that being a part of the lowrider culture, but I've seen some huelgas hanging off of the cars, and it's a political statement as well.
Well, the art reflects politics, Mission District has always had its own flavor of politics, but the fact is we are actually seeing a political figure come down 24th Street now. And I see the sign, Mayor London Breed. There's a big sign in front of a lowrider, and she will be coming right down here shortly. But look, the fact is the Mission District is going through some transformation. It is, let's not hold back. It's been tough. And Michelle and I were just looking at that mural over there, Roberto, where the murals tell the story of the mission. There's a mural of a family moving out. Boxes packed, putting them in the moving box. That's the latest mural now, and someone else moving into their house.
Recently, I took Mayor London Breed on a cruise in my lowrider with a couple of the lowriders, and we took her through the neighborhood and showed her 14 different sites that we asked her for the city to buy so that we could build affordable housing. Within a couple of weeks, she called me and shared with me that she purchased 2 of them. And I'm really, really excited that with her, we're going to be able to build affordable housing here in the Mission. And she's actually the first mayor to row in the parade in a lowrider.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
History being made.
Look, there she is.
There she is.
All decked out. Waving to everybody. Let's talk a little bit more about the neighborhood changing, too, about the Mission. A lot of these people for generations have been here, but now they've moved out, and this is their time to come back to the neighborhood for the parade.
It's a big family reunion.
Roberto, let's go ahead and go to Ann, who's going to talk to the mayor real quick.
Yes, I'm here with Mayor London Breed.
Happy Carnival, San Francisco!
What do you have here?
I have say hello. Hello. Yes.
So tell us, you spend your days doing serious, difficult carnival stuff at City Hall. What is it like to be here today and celebrate this?
All the beautiful dancers, the excitement, the vibrancy, the diversity, the people, rain or shine. We are out here celebrating Carnival only the way that we know how in San Francisco by having a lot of fun and a really good time.
The Mission District, what does this neighborhood mean to the city as a whole?
This neighborhood is so important to our history, our culture, the incredible artists, the incredible restaurants, the amazing people and diversity. I mean, it is just absolutely incredible and a great community that we have to continue to protect. And Carnival is a great example of something that we do to really celebrate people in the Mission community, and I'm so excited to be here.
Now, you are the first mayor to ride in a lowrider. Why did you make this choice, and how are you feeling about it?
Well, I grew up in San Francisco. We love lowriders, and there was a time where people would get arrested for riding in lowriders and the stuff with the hydraulics, and now look at it. We got the mayor, we got a police escort, and we're doing it big, and that's why I chose the lowrider.
All right, have fun, Mayor Breed.
Thank you so much. Mayor London Breed, right there in the lowrider. That is first for San Francisco.
She needs to watch it sitting back there, though, in that back seat. The hydraulics are really going on that car, too. Looks good.
We want to mention you've been seeing some pictures from way up above, from Chopper 5. Able to fly above us as the weather changes back and forth from rain to sunshine. A little bit chilly, but it's
warming up, Joe.
It is.
It's warming up just right. The sun is coming out.
Joe, you're not going to have to drink tequila. It's warming up. Don't worry.
Can we have that anyway?
Yeah, let's get it.
Now, that's a parade I would watch. We also
and then that tequila will make you dance.
Somebody filled up that car with tequila.
That little worm.
We also want to mention KPIX 5 and KBCW 44, cable channel 12, are proud to be the official English language stations of Carnival San Francisco.
And we are proud to be out here representing KPIX 5 too, because Carnival is such an important parade, not only for the mission, for the city, and for the culture. Let's talk about that theme.
La cultura cura.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing how we've been able to really reach a lot of people with our theme this year, talking about, you know, let's not hide. Let's celebrate. Let's continue to dance. Let's continue to listen to that music you're talking about early in the morning, right? Because, you know, whether it be salsa music or samba or reggaeton or cumbia, you know, for me, I get up sometimes, you know, I'm listening to that music and I start moving from side to side, you know, and, you know, it gets me going.
Cumbia gets me going.
La cumbia, te gusta cumbia?
That's like, yeah, human lowrider just dancing around on the street. All right, here we go. Now, right behind the last lowrider, you see Carnival spelled out, the 8 letters that have become a part of the history and fabric of the city.
And they are being held up by the ladies of Maria's Glam Studio. Look at that. Looking pretty good, representing the parade right now. It is a professional makeup studio. It focuses on helping students learn how to do professional hair and makeup.
Carnival now in its 41st year of hosting, if not the biggest, certainly the most diverse Carnival parade in the entire country, if not the world.
And right behind the lovely ladies, look at this, orange and black. We know those colors well. San Francisco Giants, you know, baseball season is back in action at Oracle Park now. It's called Oracle Park.
You gotta remember that, not Pac Bell, it's not AT&T anymore. But hey, it's the Giants still in Gigantes in Spanish. There to see some past alumni. The mascot, Lucille, is somewhere around there.
He's probably running around in the crowd somewhere. Lucia likes doing that. But it doesn't get more SF than Giants and baseball and Carnival, right, Roberto?
It's, you know, baseball is so huge in Latin America, you know, and so here in San Francisco, we've been blessed to have so many Latino players, from Juan Marichal to Orlando Cepeda and many others who the panda. Remember the panda days? You know, Pablo. You know, in fact, Pablo used to come and eat burritos right down the corner.
Nice.
You know, at El Farolito, and you know they tried to put him on a diet, and it didn't work.
No way.
You know, they should have just let him eat. You know, that he got that power from that super burrito he used to have.
He's got 3 World Series. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That diet just didn't work.
Well, speaking of the Giants, you know, everyone should mark their calendars because in September 14th, close to 16 de septiembre at Oracle Park, it's the big celebration, Fiesta Gigantes. So keep that in mind in a few months.
Let's shift gears back again and kind of wrap up our discussion here, Roberto, about the Mission District. It's still La Misión, but as I've been talking to folks involved in the different groups, the comparsas as we call them, a lot of people coming in from the deep East Bay. You know, oh, well, I'm down the peninsula now. They have ties to this community. They love coming back. But let's be fair, they don't live here, a lot of them anymore. The families that make up the fabric here, a lot of them have had to move out.
They've been evicted. It's, you know, the Mission is ground zero for gentrification in San Francisco. We've had over 10,000 people who've been displaced.
10,000.
10,000, and out of that, 8,000 being Latinos. But what's interesting is that will always be home. You know, I know a lot of people that live in Concord, for example, that come here because this is where they come and get their yuca and papaya and just a lot of food and clothing and jewelry that you can't find in Concord, you know. And so it's really beautiful to see the amount of people that come throughout the week and throughout the year. But Carnival is where it's like a Mission District reunion.